Welcome, everybody, to the Inter Miami 2025 MLS season preview. So, in this season, it's pretty much the same goal. It's a MLS Cup goal in mind for this team. Within some few moves, Diego Gomez gone off to Brighton, the $14 million deal from Brighton. That was a crazy one. You also have Campana going off to New England for general allocation money. And I think there's one more I might have forgotten, but there's plenty of changes regarding Facundo Ferreras also gone too, as well as Christoph is gone, as well as a few others. We could really use the defensive help, and I think they got some of the help. They got some international signees. Like Lujan and Falcon, to be exact. I think they're here without any more visa problems, so that's also a good thing. There's also a coaching change. I remember talking to you about this with Tata Martino gone off after a couple of seasons, and they got Javier Mascherano, a Barcelona, also a Barcelona connection with Messi and his friends with Busquets, Alba, Luis Suarez. Definitely fits into the criteria of this team, and that's why they have these new kits of Barcelona and Argentina type of pink jersey type of thing. I think it's pretty cool. I tend to try to buy that in the future. Some people don't like it. I kind of like it. Um, I guess those are just some people that really wish Messi is on their team, and we have that privilege. So, anyway, though, a simple goal in mind: win the MLS Cup. You have to win the MLS Cup, and I'll say this too: a lot of pressure is put on Javier Mascherano. I will say that because he has never coached in the seniority level like this before, so it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to put together in the real competition. So far, he's done slightly a good job. Although it's very early. There'll be time for criticism in the future, but it's only preseason. But yet, still without an L. And winning against Sporting Kansas City in Kansas City, especially in the really frigid temperatures, and winning it 1-0, it's encouraging. But the defensive side is a little bit of some work. I also too that he managed to substitute in the right time. He only made two substitutions yesterday, but what I want to see is how he handles the roster correctly. You have to go whichever way you feel like, depending on the game how it goes. Like if it's good and we're 2-0 lead or 2-0, 3-0, that's when you put in some defensive players and substitute those defensive players. And if we're really in need some goals, like we're down 1-0, we're close to the end, then you think about putting in more on the attack, which hopefully that helps. But let's jump right into it. Allende is going to be part of our team. He's done so well in the preseason. I will say that. We already talked about Messi and friends really because they're going to be sticking around for at least one more season. Hopefully they stay here beyond. But we have to see. But we're gonna jump right into the schedule because the roster more or less remains the same except for the addition of the Allende deal and more of the international signees with Falcon. Lujan is there too. Hopefully it's not serious with him. And let's jump right into it. So in this game, it starts on Saturday between Inter Miami and NYC. Excuse me, NYCFC at Chase Stadium. That's our home opener. That's going to be a 7:30 kickoff this time. Earlier, it was a 2:30 kickoff. Now it is a 7:30 kickoff because they postponed the game from Kansas City, Miami to Wednesday instead of Tuesday. Then Tuesday match is the CONCACAF one, so we don't have to talk anything about that. Their next regular season game will be 8 days from February 20. What is it? Is it 8? Is it 8 days? Oh wow, yeah, it is 8 days. So 22nd to March 2nd. They will play Houston Dynamo in Houston, Texas. Trying to get some revenge what they did to us in the U.S. Open Cup final a couple of years ago. Then they come back home, play against Charlotte FC. And then the week after that, also still on a Sunday, by the way, Atlanta United. I will love to get their revenge against Atlanta United. That this is going to be a blood-boiling match and beyond that as well. Their next match is going to be against Philadelphia Union. That's on March 29th. Now we go to April. April kicks off with Toronto FC. That's also a Sunday game. Another Sunday game a week after is against Chicago Fire in Chicago. Then this is the anticipated matchup between Inter Miami and Columbus Crew. This game is going to be fun to watch. Then the next match at home, the Saturday game, is FC Dallas. FC Dallas matchup they're coming into town in that time, 7:30. That's going to be a tough matchup, and especially when we just barely able to beat them at the Leagues Cup. I think it was a round of 16, as far as I remember, that went to the penalty shootouts. But May, this is where it gets crazy. 7 games in the month of May. May 3rd, it's against the Red Bulls. That's the team that went to the MLS Cup final. That's crazy to me. That's the team that went to the MLS Cup final. And, they deserve it. They were the underdogs, and they managed to get all the way to the finals. They didn't win. Of course, LA was the one that was victorious. Then they go to Minnesota at St. Paul Allianz. And in the midweek game, in the midst of the travel, is San Jose Earthquakes at, I think they call it PayPal now. That's going to be at San Jose, California. That's a 10:30 kickoff for us. So 7:30 for them, 10:30 for us. And I think they have a new coach named Bruce Arena. I think that's the name. But then they come back for a Sunday game against Orlando. So with all the traveling coming up to the Midwest and then go to California, back home against Orlando, that's not fun. That is not going to be a fun one. And I think that is just a little bit unfair. If the critics say, MLS loves Inter Miami because of Messi. How fair is this to go from Minnesota, then San Jose, right to Florida against Orlando, when Orlando is usually the more dangerous team? It makes no sense. Then they go to Philadelphia to play against the Union, then come back home against Montreal, and the Montreal one is a midweek game. And then at least they're staying home, but they play against Columbus. That's crazy. One regular season game, that's June 28th against Atlanta. There's 4 games in June, but the other ones are FIFA World Cup. I'll talk about that in a different day. So leaving out the FIFA Club World Cup yet, that's in different time. But the next game is Atlanta United at June 28th. That's a game to watch as well. July, 7 games. 6 of them in regular season, and Leagues Cup starts at the end of July. It usually starts in the middle of January. Look at me. July, right? But anyway, July 5th, it starts with CF Montreal in Montreal, Canada. New England, this is where we see Leo Campana again. That's up in Gillette Stadium. Then come back home against Nashville SC. They go up to FC Cincinnati. Then July 19th, they go up against the Red Bulls. So that's going to be at Red Bull Arena in New Jersey. That's the Eastern Conference champ. And then followed by yet another game against FC Cincinnati. And then we talk Leagues Cup right then and there. So not much to comment on that. And this is some weird format. This is weird. We'll talk about that when the time comes. Right now, I just don't have the answers. But anyway, next regular season game is August 10th against Orlando City. That's August 10th at Orlando City. And then we welcome in the MLS champs, LA Galaxy. I would love to attend that game to find some revenge from season 0. Because we should have won that game when Higuain got that penalty goal. And it just wasn't meant to be. Then we go to DC against DC United at DC, followed by a match in the week after against Chicago Fire. And in the month of September, We play against Charlotte. We have a bye week between August 30th and September 13th. Then a big matchup, a Tuesday matchup. It's just strange. Against Seattle Sounders. Second time ever facing against Seattle. The first time it was the one and only goal against Seattle up in Seattle, Washington with Robbie Robinson. So this is a Tuesday matchup. Then the next game is against DC United, followed by a midweek game between Miami and New York City FC. That's up in one of the baseball ballparks. I'm not sure which one is going to be. Which we'll see what happens. Then we go to Toronto, play against Toronto FC, followed by the game between New England Revolution and Miami in South Florida, and ending a regular season against Nashville SC. That's a 10-18 game. So I think of my prediction with this season, they have to make the playoffs. I think they can make the playoffs. It's the question whether or not if they can win the MLS Cup this season, or any trophy rather. I say because it's critical, and because Miami needs something that's going along with the soccer team, and a lot of pressure is on Mascherano. I don't know if they can necessarily make it to the MLS Cup, but I'm banking for a playoff win. You have to get a playoff win, something. You have to do it. If not, then this is another bust this season, and we could have a long discussion whether or not if Inter Miami is worthy enough to even be contender from beyond 2025, maybe even 2026. And also, too, this is the final season at Shea Stadium, because next season they will be going to Miami Freedman Park. That's going to be down in Miami this time, so Orlando fans can stop making fun of the area code. I know. I watched it. I saw it happen during my time in Orlando. That's kind of sucks. But my prediction, they have to win a playoff game. And if you want my bold prediction, go to the MLS Cup and win it. I think that's going to be my prediction. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it. Let me know what your thoughts and comments down below. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe for content, because Miami TVG has it back. And when it does, keep it right there with the entertainment you deserve. This is Miami TVG. Sign off, folks. Everybody have a great day. Adios.